Hi everybody, this is Edward Mariyani-Squire, your friendly unit coordinator and instructor for Principles of Economics for Summer Semester A. This is a quick video as a reminder to those who have enrolled at the normal time for Principles of Economics, and also for those who have only enrolled this week, that is in week 2 for this unit. Obviously, as should be evident to everyone now, this is an entirely online unit, and that means there are no face-to-face classes. The only time that you come into a university campus is for the final exam. So if there's no face-to-face classes, how do we interact with each other? Well, so for example, if you don't understand some concept or other, or you're not sure what's the most important idea in this particular chapter, or you don't understand a question, or you're not sure about how to answer an assessment task or something like that, then what you can do is just send me an email and I will reply to you either by a personal email or by making a video like this one in which I give an answer to your query that will hopefully be beneficial to everyone enrolled in the unit. Alright, so that's that. The next issue is to remind you that for the coming week, that is from the 2nd of December, there will be 2 assessable tasks due. Now, this shouldn't be much of an issue for those of you who have enrolled at the normal time, because for you guys, you will, fingers crossed, will have read the first 2 prescribed chapters of the textbook, the chapter on the introduction and the chapter on competitive markets, the supply and demand model. And you will have taken notes from those chapters, and you will have watched the associated videos on Views about those particular topics and taken notes on them. So you'll be well prepared to answer these accessible tasks. For those of you who have enrolled in week 2, you're going to have to get a wriggle on and get that material read and watch the videos, because these 2 assessment tasks are due in this week. They're due at the end of the week. That is, they're due on the the 8th of at an absolute deadline, the 8th of December. By midnight is the absolute deadline. You turn into a pumpkin after that. You can submit your answers at any time before then, during that week, but not after. Alright, there won't really be any mercy shown for people who submit late, because you have an entire week in which to submit. Alright, so that's that. So let's go and have a look at the Views website to get to orient ourselves for those who are just arriving and those who might need a reminder. So we go to the uni website, click on the Views link. I'm going to go in as myself, obviously, and click on the link for Principles of Economics Summer A. And here we are on the home page. You need to watch that little introductory video, which is what this unit's all about, and scroll down and read through the relevant material here. What's most important, obviously, is for you to download the learning guide here and read through that carefully, especially the sections on the assessment tasks. The sections on the assessment tasks pretty much lay out everything you need to know about those assessments. So nonetheless, if you have any questions, flick me an email and I'll reply. Then there's the essential materials. The main essential material you need to acquire is the textbook, and that is available at this link here. you can click on that link. It will take you to the library website. You log into the library, and then you can read the textbook online. If you want to buy the textbook in hard copy, you can either get one from the Co-op bookstore, or if you wander around the internet, such as Gumtree or Facebook Market place, you can probably find a second-hand copy of the textbook. It's by Sloman, Norris and Garrett. It's called, creatively, Principles of Economics, and it's the 4th edition. If you can't get hold of the 4th edition, you really want a hard copy, and you can't get hold of the 4th edition, a 3rd edition is fine. This is a summary of the assessment items. You can see there are 4 of them. There are 4 quizzes to be completed during the semester, 8 debatable questions to be completed during the semester, a short answer assignment which is due on the 2nd of February, and the final exam. You need to go and look at the exam timetable when it's released to find out where and when your exam is. As you can see here, for each of the quiz items and the debatable question, you can see they're open for a week in each case. So the first quiz is going to be open from the 2nd till the 8th of December, and the first debatable question will be similarly open from the 2nd till the 8th of December. You have that window in which to complete that assessment task. Okay, so that's that. Let's go to the learning module, and here we can see for week 1 there are 2 learning modules. So if we click on the first one, you can see there it tells you need to read chapter 1 of the textbook, Economic Issues, and also watch the videos associated with this topic, and take notes when you're reading the textbook, and take notes when you're watching the videos as well. You can see there are slides that go with the videos that you can download if you really need to, but it's actually more beneficial to you, although it is more time consuming, to draw diagrams where there are diagrams, draw them by hand and get used to drawing them by hand. It's just a handy skill to have, and it's also might be useful to you in the final exam, depending on the question. Alright, so that's that. Then there's the second module, same story. Chapter 2 of the textbook, read through it, take notes, and watch the videos. Take notes on them. You can also see you can do multiple choice questions at the back of the each chapter of the textbook. These are the answers to those questions, and if you really want, you can go and watch these additional video resources just to reinforce the ideas that you will have already studied if you've got time. Okay, that's that, and you basically go through each week in that way. Week 2, go through this module, and so on and so forth. Let's scroll down to the assessment tasks. You can see here the first assessment task. You now know that next week you've got a quiz due. Click on the first assessment task link, and you can see we've got the links to the quizzes here. Click on the first quiz. Gives you some instructions about that. Now, the first quiz will be open next week, and there will be a link here for you to click on to do that first quiz. But I recommend that before you do that first quiz, you do a practice quiz first. Click on the practice quiz link and you can start a quiz. Alright, like this. Now this will give you a good feel for what the real quiz will be like. The questions are of a similar standard, so that's an excellent way to prepare for the first assessment task, that is, that first quiz. The second assessment task, there's also one next week. This is the debatable questions, and you should watch this video about how to submit your answer to the debatable questions. And the first question is available now. You can see it there. Click on that, and then you can write your answer in there and then submit it. So that's that. That's also due next week. So that's pretty much all I've got to say about that. Hopefully you're pretty much up to speed now on what's required of you. I should say one more thing, which is about time management. This unit, because it's entirely online, there's the kind of self-discipline required to complete this unit successfully is higher than if it were an on-campus unit, because you're essentially left on your own. It's really, to a very large extent, a do-it-yourself unit, except that you can interact with me by email and video and so on. So it really requires that you set out for yourself a timetable in which you devote a day or two each week entirely to this unit, to keep on top of the material. Don't leave things for a couple of weeks before you try and catch up. There'll be simply too much content to get through, and you won't be able to assimilate it very effectively. So it's best to stay on track, so to speak, each week. So that requires a degree of self-discipline and time management on your part. There's a real difficulty that arises with this kind of online unit because it's run over summer semester. We have that break in the middle of Christmas, New Year, and in the past I've found that very often students are very bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and they do a lot of study, and they really stay on top of the material until Christmas, New Year break, and then it's very hard for students to get back into it, and so they tend to, a large percentage of students tend to kind of fall by the wayside and then end up failing the unit because of that. That's why it's really important to maintain that sense of discipline. Otherwise you could end up failing, not because of any lack of ability, but simply because of poor time management, because of this break in the middle. Okay, that's pretty much all I've got to say. If you've got any questions or queries, you want to ask me something, send me an email and I'll reply. Anyway, good luck with your studies.